Hello and welcome to RevSportz. We have with us Mr. Pravin Thipsay, seven-time national chess champion and one of the early birds as far as grandmaster is concerned. There was a time. Now there is a proliferation of grandmasters in Indian chess, and India is dominating the world of chess. But 30 years ago, 25, 30 years ago, it was not the case. Obviously, Vishy Anand was the trailblazer, and in his wake came players like Mr. Pravin Thipsay, Divyendu Bodua, and others. And now this is like welcome to Rape Sports,
Yeah,
Mr. Thipsay.
yeah, my pleasure.
Mr. Thipsay, I start with the fact that when Gukesh won the world championship after beating Ding, Gary Kasparov made an observation on social media saying the next decade is going to be India's. Um, how do you look at this change?
I think the change has taken place gradually, and it has been in sort of leaps and bounds, but yet it required a lot. Because, see, in the 70s, for example, India had not won any medal even in the continental level. So I was the first one to win a medal for India in 1977 at the Asian Junior. And in the 80s, it was better. I won a gold in the Asian Team Championship, and individually we got gold. So this achievement started coming, but it was a major sort of breakthrough at international. At the world level was done by Anand when he won the bronze medal in 1984 in the World Cadet Championship as a sub-junior. And 87, he became the first Asian champion of the world. So first Asian to win any world championship. And that changed the things, that changed the perspective. And people started taking chess more seriously, because otherwise it was all Russians games. Till like Asian and Commonwealth, yes, we dominated. I was the first Indian.
With a bit of Cold War.
Yes, but it was with the Cold War. It was more so because there were no players from the Western. After Fisher, I think
Okay.
after Fisher, there were no Westerners coming at all, and it looked that the Soviet supremacy was going to be there. And then suddenly there was a ray of light in Vishwanathan Anand, the first Asian champion of the world, as they said in England. So, Anand's first program on television was made by BBC, where they gave him a name, The Lightning Kid, way back in 1985. So, Anand's first success at world level changed the perspective. It attracted the higher society, the bureaucrats, and also the at other level. Otherwise, before that, it was more or less a game of the middle class people and a very restricted number. But Anand's victory, I think, changed the perspective, and people from all classes started taking part into the tournaments, and there were children's tournaments. I think a great initiative started by All India Chess Federation's secretary, Mr. P.T. Umarkoya. So children's tournament started. Telegraph group came ahead and conducted a lot of tournaments for children. So there was a sort of revolution which led to players like Sasikiran and Ganguly crossing 2,600 rating. It was not just Anand getting into top 5 in the world. Of course, Anand played the match against Kasparov, but yes, others also started getting. And the very next decade, the first decade of this century, was again further improving year, decade, in the sense Humpy and Hari Krishna and top stars came. And thereafter, it was Adiban and many others, Sethuraman and Chidambaram. And the gradual growth came with this latest generation. I would say the three people, Arjuna Ergassi and Gukesh and Praggnanandhaa. So it has been a continuous and continual process, players breaking into higher rating level. So it's a long process for 4 decades. And now we have at the top, we can say that the top 10 rated players average still remains with USA, but they don't have any American players. They're all migrated players. But yes, so India remains, and it is likely to be at the top for, as Kasparov said, 10 years, but not without challenges, as everywhere there are challenges.
So, as a grandmaster and as a former player, you must be reveling in this transformation that, as you said, 70s and 80s, those were the decades of the Soviet dominance. Now it is India's dominance, isn't it?
Yes, I think, recently Karpov himself has said that India has replaced the Soviet Union in a recent interview just a month back. So I think Soviet Union dominated for 70 years almost, and now, except for the period of Fisher, and now India is dominating. Of course, 70 years is a very long period, and they had a great system wherein they were able to create champions after champions. The difference in India and Soviet Union, of course, one has to look into it in a different perspective. When Kasparov became world champion in 1985, he was the youngest in those days, and the Indian team was fortunately watching the match. We had been sent by the government of India to watch the match. And as we were watching the match and the interviews, Kasparov was asked a question, that how is that you are so strong at such a young age? So he said that in a country where there are 4.5 million chess players playing regularly, I'm talking of 45 lakhs in 1985. Yeah. So he says that in a country where 4.5 million players are playing chess tournaments regularly, it's natural that one of them will emerge the champion. And that's what happened. He had become the champion. But contrary to that, the Indian system does not produce players by itself. Our registered players with All India Chess Federation is hardly 36,000. So we may have online players which are about 2 crore, 3 crore, 5 crore, I don't know, those who play. But those who play in tournaments at All India level are just 36,000, which means that we do not have a legacy like Soviet Union, where automatically you are going to produce champions after champions. In Soviet Union, every pioneer at the pioneer level they play chess, and the best among 200, 300 is transferred to a different group where the stronger players playing, and so on. So cognizance of your improvement is taken, the training is free, and everything is being taken care by the system. It was being taken care by the system before 1991. Now India doesn't have that, so it's parents and players singular efforts, and they are looking for tournaments, and tournaments which are affordable, because a parent naturally cannot sponsor a child. I mean, probably 1 in 100 is rich enough to sponsor. So it's a domination quality is the same, but the struggles are different.
Directly coming to the present, Mr. Thipsay, um, Praggnanandhaa became the first Indian to win the Norway Chess, and on his way, he did a double against Magnus Carlsen. So, how big is this for Indian chess?
Well, frankly speaking, winning Norway Open is not like winning candidates. And unfortunately, Praggnanandhaa was at his best in a tournament which didn't matter much. So, if he had played this way in the candidates, he would have been the World Championship challenger. So, I think that's a bit unfortunate part, because the quality he showed here in the Norway International was superb, particularly beating, as you said, beating Carlsen twice. But not only that, beating Gukesh and Carlsen in the last 4 rounds, winning 4 out of 4 in an opposition which was above 2750. It's a unique performance. And he didn't have that consistency in the initial part of the tournament. So somewhere we feel that if you take the performance of the last 4 rounds, I think he's a supreme. At the same time, consistency will be required. But we must say that 2025 wasn't a great year for Indian chess, and we needed a great performance like this, because the top 3 players were not in good form last year. After winning the Olympiad gold in both the sections, and also the 4 individual gold medals, suddenly, and then Gukesh became the world champion. Thereafter, it's almost not so good for Indian chess. And Indian chess did need something like winning this Norway tournament, which is equivalent. Strength-wise, it's no worse than candidates. But prestige-wise, I think candidates has a different aura, and that's a different problem.
Mr. Thipsay, it looks like Sindarov is the new kid on the block, and he could be the next big thing. The way he played the candidates, and not only that, since last September, the way he has been playing. Gukesh versus Sindarov. Do you think it is going to be a keen contest, or the way Sindarov has been playing, it could be a lopsided affair?
I think Sindarov has been playing wonderfully. I mean, since the World Cup and this one. But if you look at Gukesh's best, I think Sindarov has not reached that class yet. So it's all depends on how Gukesh plays, because Gukesh's performance in the Olympiad 2024 when he won the gold, or 2022 Olympiad when he won first 8 games and made a record of 3,200 rating performance. So those performances are unparalleled, and even. I mean, Sindarov is not in a position to perform that well. So, lot will depend on how Gukesh plays. If Gukesh at his best and Sindarov at their best, it will be a good match, but still it will go in favor of the Indian. Gukesh will win. But if both are not at good form and somebody is missing something, then of course things are not really predictable. But if both are in the best form, Gukesh is still stronger than Sindarov.
Thank you, Mr. Thipsay. It's been a pleasure talking to you. And well, That was Mr. Pravin Thipsay on RevSportz, seven-time national champion, one of the earliest grandmasters in the country, and one of the trailblazers who inspired the next generation. On that note, this is Shomik Chakraborty on behalf of RevSportz from Mumbai.